When your setter has 7 kills on 7 attacks, it probably means you had a pretty good night, right?
Yes. Argentina played exceptionally well. We have been wanting her to be a little more offensive-minded. And so from the beginning, she was, for sure. So I think that's great. And, yeah, when you're the setter and you're hitting 1,000, yeah, she'll take that. The rest of us will take that, too. Definitely helps the hitting percentage.
Pia leads with 10 kills. You get 3 players with 7, Iman with 8, KD with 5. You get a couple of the depth players in. It just seemed like a pretty balanced attack today. Was that by design or just kind of how it just turned out?
I mean, we try and do that every single match, just because that, really keeps the team, our opponent, on their toes and not really knowing what to expect. We don't want to be one-dimensional or two-dimensional. We'd like everybody involved. For sure, and that's funny that Argentina gets 7 of her own, but that's really what we want to do, for sure, and that's in the passers' hands and in Argentina's hands as well, and then the hitters, of course, taking care of business.
How good do you have to be at challenging calls to where they're just going to overturn them? You don't even have to hold up the card anymore.
I kind of think that as well. Yeah, you guys know me. I like to be right on the challenges. So that was good. That was a good night for me. I think I'm, bat 1,000 too. So.
Coach, I feel like I'm turning into Mr. Sentimental on you every press conference. But you guys had a bunch of former players back. It was like a flashback to when I was in college, and they were helping build this program up.
Yep.
Can you talk about those that were here, what they mean to the program, kind of the homecoming festivity of the weekend and all that?
Yeah, you know how that started is I had texted kind of a group of them in July because I wanted them to work camp because we need more camp counselors. And they said no, but it'd be fun to come back for a weekend of volleyball. And I was like, well, okay, we'll take it. But super fun to have that group back. They were all on the 2000, well, besides Mo Perez, but the rest of them were all on that 2018 team that went to the Sweet 16. And you're right, even like my mom, they were all at my house this afternoon, and my parents were there, and my mom was telling them, like, you guys, like, helped lay this foundation. And I think that's what's really fun about this program and building it back to where we are today is they all have a piece in that. So, and they feel it. So really exciting for them to come back. They're a super fun group. I probably won't get a lot of sleep tonight, which that's fine, but I'll be ready for Sunday.
Probably not the way you wanted to get Veronica in early, and then Iman bounces back and comes to play, and that's great. I was just curious. We got to see Magdalena, some of the other depth in this team. What's the team like? The folks that people maybe don't get to see every night, because I gotta imagine they're getting some pretty good reps in practice with all your experience that you guys have on the starting side.
For sure. I mean, and that's what's tough about being a volleyball coach is, you can't, like basketball, you can't be up by 30 and then just get everybody in. It has to be a certain rotation and positional, and the score can't be too tight, and you can't get everybody in at once. So I think that's sometimes what people don't understand about being a volleyball coach, and you want to get those players in because they work just as hard as everybody else in practice. They're making our starters better. So I was glad I could get a lot of them in today. Of course, like you said, Veronica, not really planned, but she did a great job going in there, and that's what we tell all of our players. You have to practice hard just because you don't know when your number is going to be called.
Carly had a couple of reception errors, but ended up with a team-leading 16 digs. How was she in the back row, and how was she able to maintain her mentality despite those errors?
Yeah, we had looked a little bit at Utah's serving lately, and they've been serving really tough. And of course, we, never want to get aced, but, it happens. And so I think, we talk about compartmentalizing, and if you're not exactly doing one skill, great. So she wasn't passing exceptionally well, but she was digging the ball. We talk about that with our hitters as well. If you're not maybe having a great night offensively, you can still be a great blocker. So I think Carly did a nice job of, playing great defense and being calm out there defensively, even when she wasn't having a great night passing.
And kind of on that same note, Katie had 5 kills, but struggled somewhat with finding her zones, but led the team with her 5 block assists. How important was she just on that blocking?
Yeah, great. We've been working quite a bit on blocking. Like I've told you guys before, blocking is one of those skills I think that sometimes takes about half of a season to really get dialed in. And so I think Katie did a really good job blocking and setting a good block so that the middles could close to her as well.
This being, the first week after a loss in about a month, how did the team handle that loss and prepare for this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, losing is not fun. We don't like to do it. We don't want to do it anymore. But I think really focused at practice. Of course, Stanford is such a great team, and we had our chances. And I think that's what we talked about a little bit, just kind of finishing in the red zone. And we did that tonight. I think we really pushed through and kind of extended our leads when we needed to.
And with program alumni back this weekend, have they gotten a chance to interact with the current team and likewise, and what has that been like? Yeah,
it was fun. They kind of were at the beginning of practice today. A couple of them haven't touched a ball since they, left, and they were, in the gym and having a good time. And actually, this is how old our team is that some of them were on a recruiting visit when the 2018 team was still here. So they're like, oh, we remember, so-and-so. But it's fun, this is Cougar Volleyball family and everybody is in it together. So great weekend.
The second middle blocker position has been alternating lately between Lana and Jasmine the last couple matches, and we didn't see Jasmine get in there tonight. Is there any rhyme or reason determining who plays in that position?
Yeah, that for sure is a position that's really still up for grabs. I think it's kind of just dependent a little bit on who we're playing and, kind of what the week of practice was and maybe the match before, who did well or whatnot. But, just really part of the reason I really wanted to get Shay Rubright in this match because she's been doing a good job in practice as well. So, yeah, it's a battle for that second spot.
And then earlier you did, before the match, mention how one of your main focuses was at the service line. And looking at the stats, you did come up with 8 service aces, and there were a couple of service errors, and there was just a little bit more aggression there. How do you think their approach was at the service line tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was better. I talked to you before the match. Against Stanford, we had 1 ace and 2 service errors. I like the 8 aces and 9 errors better. We needed to be a little bit more aggressive from the service line, and I think that paid off.